I'm having fun. Stop. Why is it raining? Oh my god, that was huge. Hello! My name is Zinzer J. I use they, them pronouns, and welcome to They Be Cs.
They.
This episode we'll be talking about all things they, them. I want to start off by addressing a common misconception, that the singular they is grammatically incorrect. But that's simply not true. In fact, the American Dialect Society named the singular they its 2015 Word of the Year. And in this episode, you/me is going to cover everything they/them. Sociolinguist Martin Hassan DiMaggio points out, the singular they is actually fairly standard, but it's often only used when applying anonymity. For example, hey, did someone lose their keys? When it comes to pronouns, I tend to agree with BBC correspondent Caitlin Benedict. In my ideal world, everyone starts with they, and then if you want he or she, that's when you make a conscious decision to switch. After all, according to the Mayo Clinic, most children don't even perceive their own gender until age 3 years or older. We put people in boxes at birth and then chastise them if they ever want to break out of them. I use they, them because in my ideal world, pronouns would denote your gender, not your genitalia. They'd tell me more about who you are rather than what you have. He would be somebody who chooses to lead with masculinity, she would be somebody who chooses to lead with femininity, and they would be somebody who chooses to lead with both or neither. I recently learned that there are languages that don't use binary pronouns at all. DiMaggio states, there are languages that don't have he or she at all, like Turkish for example, Estonian and Finnish as well. English is kind of a weird middle ground. Our pronouns are gendered, but unlike Spanish and German, our everyday nouns aren't gendered. You may have noticed that Mixed DiMaggio uses multiple pronouns. He goes on to say, I was born intersex, and for me, using they recognizes that the sex I was raised as is totally constructed. Like literally constructed, not just socially. Others may use multiple pronouns because their gender is contextual. In some spaces, he may feel more appropriate, while during other times, they feels more authentic. If that's still hard to grasp, try to think of it as having a birth name and a nickname. Depending on who you're talking to or what context you're in, one name may feel more suitable than the other, even though you use both fairly regularly and both feel right to you. In some spaces, you're Joseph. In other spaces, you're Joey. Context matters. When I first started exploring my gender identity, I was using multiple pronouns too. I told people my pronouns were like the SAT multiple choice section. He isn't wrong, but they is the most correct answer. He may give you partial credit, but they will get you into Harvard.
What, like it's hard?
But now I use they, them exclusively, because he just doesn't feel like an accurate description for who I am anymore. I'll end by saying this. Names are important. Not just in the trans community, but everywhere. It's how our society bestows personhood, recognizes individuality, and affirms the humanity in each of us. Many people, trans and cis, are starting to include their pronouns in their email signatures or their social media bios, because it matters. Our names, along with our pronouns, are often the most common way for society to recognize us. As always, if there are questions or topics you'd love to have covered, you can email me at theybcs@gmail.com or shoot me a DM on Instagram. Thank you so much for watching, and in the meantime, keep it what? LGBTQ.